And now, intermission. Refreshment time.
Unfortunately for me, but fortunately for the viewer, my Season 6 takes might be the hottest takes in the entire video to some people. In summary, I find it to be the worst season of the show besides Season 5 in terms of adaptation. I think the Paranormal Liberation War Arc's adaptation was genuinely very, very bad outside of a few select moments. Season 6 is largely an issue of scheduling or allocation of time. While largely narratively unimportant scenes like Mirko versus some Nomu or boring electricity dude versus nameless electricity dude got some pretty good treatment, incredibly weighty scenes in the manga like Hawks vs. Twice or Deku vs. Shigaraki were more or less entirely carried by the voice actors' performances. You could argue the reliance on still frames in Hawks vs. Twice is acceptable because it isn't as flashy as other fights, and I guess that would be fair. Personally, I was hoping for a lot more to go into one of the best scenes of the war arc, but I get it. Deku vs. Shigaraki is a completely unforgivable abomination of a fight scene, despite being one of the biggest parts of the war. Something about My Hero Academia's anime just feels off in general, and in my opinion it's due to the anime failing to ever keep up with the tone of the manga. My Hero Academia post-MVA felt like it had permanently shifted, taking on a much more serious tone as it approached the climax of Act 2 and by extension, Act 3. And I mean, it makes sense. We saw the crushing backstories of the main villains as they were set to collide with the hero cast, immediately followed up by the Endeavor Agency arc tackling abusive family dynamics and then going straight into the massive war that is PLW. The MHA anime, Season 5 and Season 6 mostly, never really matched this new tone of the series. The anime still feels like it's trying to look and feel like the happy, oh man, the students sure are fucking around aspect of the series from much earlier on, never really expanding or adapting the color palette, the backgrounds, the color of the sky, the lighting, or literally anything to fit the new era the series had entered. Instead of doing anything unique with the source material due to the poor schedule the staff is forced to work with, all we get is a lazily lit series of still frames that recreate manga panels that feels like the equivalent of the series soy jacking at us going, oh my god guys look, it's the manga panel you like, holy shit, please buy the new volume so you can see it in better quality. What really stands out to me, and apparently a lot of the community as people never shut the fuck up about it on Twitter, are the blue skies. No matter the intensity of the scene, no matter the tone of the moment, you will see the copy-pasted fuck-ass blue sky with the same stupid goddamn Musa clouds over and over again, coupled with the permanent midday lighting that has plagued the anime for years. PLW has some of My Hero Academia's darkest moments, and it doesn't even feel like the series tries to capture that, with the only standout moments in terms of presentation being the lab scenes with Mirko and Ochako vs. Toga. Everyone with a sore throat on Twitter coming to defend the season said, well, it's the middle of the day, what are they supposed to do, make the sky red? You know, if only there was an example of a scene where the anime staff got to take creative liberties. Gee, I wonder if the sky is ever red at night. Deku vs. Shigaraki was one of the two scenes that I was most excited for in this adaptation, and holy shit, it was really bad. If you look at the manga, every hit from Deku feels extremely weighty and actually dangerous for Shigaraki. If you take these same hits and apply it to the anime, of course, Dabi's dance was animated pretty well, and Ochako vs. Toga answers these complaints directly, using super unique direction and lighting to really elevate those scenes in the manga. However, the rest? A glorified PowerPoint presentation colored manga with little to no creativity involved. The second half of the season, Villain Hunt, is pretty solid for MHA standards, offering one of the series' most popular openings so far, and well-lit scenes at the cost of the entire war arc. My Hero Academia's worst arc so far indeed got the best adaptation in years. It didn't nail everything. The apology scene looked pretty bad, and in an even more unpopular opinion, the Nakamura cut that everyone is ready for every season of My Hero Academia just didn't really hit for me. I'm absolutely not going to call this poorly animated because it's not, but I just don't think it was a very visually appealing scene in itself, lacking a bit of impact and being a repetition of World Heroes Mission's climax of multiple Dekus slowly spawning like a shadow clone jutsu. Season 6 was an absolute letdown, fumbling some of the final good moments the series has left and giving a pretty solid adaptation to one of the worst arcs of the series. Oh well, until Season 7.